Tom Aspinall knocked out Sergei Pavlovich to win the UFC interim heavyweight title. See what fighters thought of his performance in the latest edition of MMA Pros React.
Going in, I did have Aspinall winning. I didn't think it would happen in the fashion that it did happen. I thought he would out technique him, just be a smarter striker, because I expected Sergei to be a lot more aggressive. That was one of the biggest things. He allowed Aspinall to get bouncing, get moving. He gave him space. And that's one of the differences between fighting at the apex and using a standard octagon. A lot more space, a lot harder to be aggressive when there's angles you can take. And I think that was the beginning of the end, when he allowed Aspinall the freedom of movement to find himself. Because you could tell once he started slipping and he wasn't even moving his feet, he was just moving his head, he was already in the groove. And that was like a minute into the first round, and I knew then, he's gonna get the knockout. You could just tell he was in that the zone.
Yeah, really crazy. Yeah, I mean, good for that guy, man. It was cool to see him. I really have always liked watching people accomplish their dreams, whether it be, I don't watch movies or listen to music a ton, but the Oscars and the Grammys and all of that stuff, as long as their speeches don't get too corny and political, I really love watching people, just the happiness that they get from accomplishing, a lifelong dream. And that was kind of the same feeling that I got when I watched Tom win the belt, and so that was really cool. It's real inspiring, and I think that more than anything, I think that what this sport does better than a lot of the other ones that I've seen is it just inspires people more than some of them. So I think that was a really cool thing to feel.
That was insane. It was really remarkable to see. These guys, what I think really helped both these guys, I know they didn't prepare the way they would have wanted to, but if you have two guys who didn't prepare for a fight, then it's a level playing field. And Tom Aspinall, for me, that guy, I think he made his debut on the same card, or his second fight on when I made my debut in Abu Dhabi. And he moves like a middleweight. It's so cool to see, just the way you don't really see that from the heavyweights. And Sergei Pavlovich is somebody I would really prefer not to fight if I can keep it that way in my life. He's just a monster of a man. I've met him, and very nice guy, but he's such a big guy, and the way he throws. But leading up to the fight, I went to go watch both these guys fight. Just because between friends we like to say, okay, we bet with each other, see who's winning. And I had Pavlovich the whole time since the fight got announced, because I thought Pavlovich is the new guy in the division. He was the scary guy. And I went to go watch the fights, and I saw with Pavlovich, he's so tough that he doesn't mind getting hit. I saw against Curtis Blades. On the night, it looked like he just dismantled Curtis Blades in that first round, but Curtis caught him a few times, maybe 3 or 4 times at the big straights, and he just takes it. And he's so tough that he fights with his hands low and then he throws, but he takes those straight punches down the middle. And then I went to go watch some of Tom Aspinall's fights, and you don't see that. He doesn't get hit. He doesn't get hit that often. And I changed my vote from Pavlovich to Aspinall just before the fight. And Tom Aspinall, he really deserves to be champion. He's a really nice guy, and he's absolutely brilliant. You can see he's a dedicated man. He dedicated his life to the sport, and this is the results. Everybody dedicates their life to the sport if you're fighting in the UFC. But I'm really happy for him, and he definitely deserves to be champion.
Oh man, it was crazy. So Pavlovich actually landed the first power punch, or the first significant strike of the fight. And I saw a little bit of wobble on Aspinall, and I was like, dang, is it over? Is it done? But no, he recollected himself, and man, that knockout was crazy. Just a straight little, 1-2 right over the top.
That was actually my prediction. I thought it would be a little bit longer, to be honest. I expect Pavlovich being able to either take a couple more shots, but Aspinall is the kind of guy I work to be. He's the kind of style that I find myself as well, and I try to work on, where you need to have, of course, it's a heavyweight, everyone has power behind. So it doesn't matter if you're a big puncher, we all are. But being able to move, stay in and out, hand movement, footwork, That's where you can find the difference on this division. When you can strike and grapple and wrestle, that's the recipe for success. And I think right now it's he and Jones are the only guys on that top of the division that can do it all. Like you see, Gunn has a hole in the wrestling, and Almeida big hole on the striking. And when you see a good guy that is complete and can move, that's the recipe for a champion right there.
I think it kind of rides on the coattails of like Volkanovski. I know he didn't win that last fight, but it's like sometimes when you're like, when you're training and those big guys don't have to cut a ton of weight, like they don't have a lot of that extra wear and tear on the body of a whole fight camp. Sometimes you can come in with a clear head and, obviously with the experience, like it takes one punch with some of those big dudes. And that's got to feel real good to come in on short notice and get the job done pretty quick.
Yeah, that's always impressive when you take short notice fights and go through, that says a lot.